Welcome back to the Big Cheese Sports Review, and today we'll be taking a look at Charles Tillman, aka Peanut Tillman, drafted in the second round by the Chicago Bears in 2003. He has about a 6'2", 210 frame, which was perfect for the next generation of tall, physical receivers that were coming into the league. But he's famously known for his peanut punch, which I believe should be taught as common football technique. The move is perfect for how the game is played today. It's so offensively dominated. The rules, the fans want to see points, but so as a defender, you need to be able to make a play. It's not enough to just tackle the offensive player anymore. Getting them on the ground isn't enough. You got to make a play on the ball. And the goal of this video is to see if Charles Tillman is ultimately Hall of Fame worthy. How does he stack up against his peers that are already in the Hall of Fame? And how does he stack up against other potential Hall of Famers? So I've made a playmaker chart for you guys, and the playmaker chart is born from the production chart that I used to go through in high school when I played football. So the only thing that includes on the playmaker chart are pass deflections, interceptions, TFLs, sacks, and touchdowns, all plays that have to be made on the ball. And I have a scoring system as well for the playmaker chart. So interceptions are worth 3 points, pass deflections are worth 1 point, forced fumbles are worth 3 points, sacks are worth 2 points, TFLs are worth 2 points, and touchdowns are worth 6 points. So let's get straight to it. Here we have the playmaker chart, and I just want to go through the names on the left. At the top, of course, Charles Tillman, Darrelle Revis, Charles Woodson, Asante Samuel Sr., Rondé Barber, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, and Richard Sherman. First, I want to acknowledge Charles Woodson's highest score. Him and Rondé Barber are the only ones to have double digits in each category. However, Woodson was pretty much able to double him up on the forced fumbles and add about 18 more interceptions. So he's going to come out as number one. Rondé Barber, relatively close second. He ran a similar defense as Charles Tillman. They both corners in a Tampa 2 defense. Tony Dungy created. Lovie Smith coming from that coaching tree that Charles Tillman spent most of his years in. But I think if you're looking at those two, you'll have to clearly acknowledge that Rondé Barber was the better true corner. But I would like to say that Charles Tillman was still a better playmaker on the ball if you're looking at his forced fumbles and his interception count. Now, players that I think, are victim of their circumstances and didn't quite get the effect on the playmaker chart that they should have, Darrelle Revis and Richard Sherman. I acknowledge those two as matchup corners. So more often than not, you're trying to get them on the best receiver. And when you do that, you're not going to see as much action. Your stat lines is not going to look as cool. You're not going to get as many picks. You're not going to get to make very many plays on the ball. And then let's go over to Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu. Ed Reed, he's slightly behind Charles Tillman, but we know he played pretty much center field in the NFL. Probably one of the few safeties to be able to do that. He's got a ridiculous interception count. But he was probably the only one on the list that played the true free safety. Versus Troy Polamalu, who is really, I think, the true strong safety. He's got a lower score here, and I think that should be a tip of the cap to Charles Tillman. And brownie points towards his Hall of Fame argument that if he can keep up with players like Ed Reed and Charles Tillman and pass players like Asante Samuel and Darrelle Revis, that Charles Tillman is Hall of Fame worthy. All of these stats being plays made on the ball. And I think going forward in the NFL, we need to take a closer look at plays made on the ball, especially for defensive backs. But I appreciate you guys sticking around, and more videos on the way. Take it easy.